This has got to be the messiest stuff. I remembered why I decided not to sand after I started sanding. Oh well. Well, we just walked out of the closing office.
And we are officially homeowners of the old Dowdle Farmstead.
Now we've just got work to do to get ready and move in.
Yay!
Now that was a week ago. We had this grand plan, an epic weekend of painting, and we'd be moving in.
Is that enough? Rob, that's enough. That's good. I said that's enough.
But the house, well, the house had other plans. And to top it off, our bodies decided to give out on us, and we were sick for over a week and a half. So now we were determined to do better, and that started off with eating better. Not just whatever food we could find easily. So I decided to take a couple of our pork shoulder roasts out of the freezer, and after seasoning them, I started smoking them. After all, what's the point in raising premium pasture-raised pork and beef if I'm not going to enjoy it myself? So while it cooked low and slow, I started on a project that had been haunting me for weeks now. After all, we had more painting and cleaning to do, but the messiest project was going to be finishing that ceiling repair in the book nook. Now, over the last several weeks, I had cut out the old sheetrock tape that was sagging in the book nook. Apparently some pipes had burst or something years ago. I'd retaped and mudded it, but I had no idea how I was going to blend the work that I was doing with the texture on the rest of the ceiling in the room. So I finally decided on what I thought was a fairly simple yet overwhelming plan to sand down the high points of the old texture and either roll on or stomp on some mud and hope that the new texture covered the old and it blended fairly well. But then I started sanding and sanding and sanding, and then I remembered why I decided not to sand after I started sanding. I was halfway through it and realized that Mike had told me that the dust would be unreal and I'd never get it out of the house. Oh well.
Wash your hands.
I did. After I got the sanding done, I ran to the house. One of the roasts was ready, so we went on and ate it. It was wonderful. Then I had to make a quick trip to Lowe's before I could put the texture on the ceiling. It's 9:40 and I'm just now getting started. I'm ready to go home now, but I got the sanding done. And unfortunately I was sanding and sweating. And so now I've got this sheetrock dust, mud caked all over my skin. I had to go to Lowe's again to get some materials. And I'm just now getting back, so.
I don't think we necessarily need a bunch of drop cloths.
I'd learned my lesson before, so I decided to put down drop cloths this time around. So Tom, Mary's uncle, incidentally, he's a painter I know and swears by mixing sheetrock mud with ceiling paint for texture. It sounded crazy to me, but I was desperate. So let's see how it works. There are several factors in rolling the mud on for texture, consistency, how much paint to use, what kind of roller to use, where to start rolling, what pattern to use, and it's just all overwhelming. As I start rolling, mud and paint go everywhere, and the drop cloths are worth their weight in gold. And it takes a while to get the technique down for rolling, but at this point I'm committed and determined to get it done, good, bad, or indifferent. Slowly, it started looking right, but I'm afraid that as thin as the mud is, it's going to keep falling off the ceiling before it dried. After all, it was rolling all over the walls and my hair and my head. We'll just have to see how it comes out. That's a spot right there that I let dry too much. And then the wet mud and paint pulled away from the sheetrock. I fixed it and you can't tell it much right now. But I've got another problem right there. This has got to be the messiest stuff. This stuff is a muddy mess. I don't know who came up with mixing paint and sheetrock mud, but there's got to be a better way. I'm gonna try to clean up so I don't track through the house, and then I gotta go clean up. I'm probably gonna spend an hour or two cleaning up the paint off the sides, off the trim, the walls, trying to get it so that it looks halfway decent. But anyway, it might just turn out better than I'd anticipated. It's 11:45. I've gotten the walls and the trim cleaned as best I can. I hope it's gonna dry okay. It's time for bed. Mostly cleaned up, we're ready to go. Later the next day, the only thing I did is I moved these cows across the road. I forgot to get video footage of it. I thought the camera was on, but these are some cows that we want to eventually move over to the new farmstead, and they're also some of the ones that ran down the road in the previous episode. They were in the paddock straight across the road. I just opened both gates, they all ran across and were fine. In a few days I'll move them to another pasture paddock right across from the house, but for now this gets them where we can move them a little bit easier the next time around. I was shocked that went as easily as it did. Over the last several weeks, we have been working like crazy on the house, trying to get ready to move in. But while we've been working on that house, a different thing has taken the back seat, and that is getting the pastures and the barns in halfway decent shape. Now you can see right here close to the house that the pastures are a bit overgrown. Not only are there weeds that are not the most productive for livestock, but the grass is getting stemmy and tall. But if we want to get the pastures in better shape, next week we're moving some yearlings out here. We're going to graze different paddocks very hard. We're going to do what rotational grazing we can. But right now my project is installing some frost-free water hydrants. After all, if we're going to rotate the cattle through the different parts of the pasture, then we need to have water for them. Plus, over the last several weeks, I'd spent so much time in the house, I was ready to just get outside of the pastures and do something productive out there that was in my wheelhouse of knowledge. First thing I need to do, though, is continue digging that out. I'd have never busted through all those roots without tearing something up, probably. So there are water lines throughout the pastures, but to prevent water faucets from freezing over the last few years, they've been capped off. So I'm just installing frost-free hydrants throughout these pastures. It's not really that big of a deal. So this is where that first faucet is going to come out. And it'll be buried in the ground. And I think what I'm going to do is put my in-ground faucet right here, set my frost-free hydrant that'll stick out of the ground here. This is a great opportunity to show you how these frost-free hydrants work. When you lift the handle, it lifts a plunger from in here that lets water pass up all the way through the stem and come out the hose. The unique thing about it is when you close it, it cuts the water supply off, and all the water in this pipe comes out of that 1/8 inch hole right there. And so we'll fill that with gravel and sand. So this one's ready to go on and fill up. Let's make sure that faucet works. Yep. So it's getting late and I need to get this finished. Sunset some time ago now. But what I've got The faucet was over there on the other side of that livestock tank. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the water line right there where that post is. That way I can water from one set of faucets on either side of the fence. Digging it up over there, I hit it with a backhoe. That's always exciting. But here I've got it dug up by hand and then dug my hole for the drain line. So I'm going to try to go on and get that set up. Well, I've got all the plumbing done. I'm going to give it a little time. I'm going to go feed pigs and animals and let this cure, and then I'll pressure test it and probably fill it in. It was after 10 o'clock, so I just decided to wait until the next day. I could come out there the next afternoon, test it, and fill the hole up. It was a decision that I'd come to regret. Overnight, a storm had dumped almost 6 inches of rain. A few days later, I finally got a pump and generator and pumped the water out of the hole, pressure tested everything, but I still was not able to fill the hole up. But at least everything was working right. It's amazing how that one decision to wait until the next day, because I didn't want to be up till midnight filling a hole with dirt, delayed everything by another 5 days because we had had so much rain. Now these are the same yearlings that I moved across the road a few days before, and now they are in a position where they've got plenty of grass, plenty of clover, lots of great forage, but most importantly, they're also located where I can move them into the pastures of our old farmstead to help clean up those pastures as well. That storm had dumped so much rain, we had sticks and trees everywhere. Fortunately, we had some help. Thank you, Beckett. You gonna put them on the pile? Thank you.
Good job, buddy.
Good job, Beckett. As relaxing as this view from our front porch is, the cows grazing across the road, soon to come over here to our pastures, and Beckett's pile of limbs on the ground, it was time to get some major work done in the house again so that we could move in. One of the first things we had to do was clean up the royal mess that I made doing that textured ceiling in the book nook. Miss Ann came and helped scrape some of that sheetrock mud paint mixture off, and we repainted the entire book nook after we scraped and sanded that stuff off. We did put another coat of paint on some other rooms. So far we've done what we could in order to get most of the painting and the more troublesome work done before we move in. Now it's time to clean really well, because tomorrow we're hoping to move. I've swept this floor and now I'm going through and mopping it, and if I find pieces of paint, I will clean them up along the way.
I don't think we necessarily need a bunch of drop cloths. As long as we just clean up our mess as we go, this should be fun.
So all Meg and Chloe and I have accomplished today is getting the paint off this room's floor, which was very intense, and then the bedroom floor in Chloe's room. If someone tells you you don't have to put drop cloths down, you can just clean it up as you go and it'll be all right, that's true. But it's conditional. If they don't clean it up, you will spend hours picking that junk up off the floor. Ask me how I know. After we got the floors cleaned up, Chloe started hanging the blinds. You might be wondering what that ceiling looked like after that long night of textured rolling and sanding in the book nook. After all, I did make some mistakes while rolling the texture on that ceiling. Well, Mike came over to take a look at it, and this is what he said.
Well, Rob, that looks really good. You know, if somebody comes and they start pointing this out and that out, and they see that, this. Usually when a person gets to that point, they've been here a little bit too long anyway. My daddy always said that you need to go ahead and leave.
Well, the dust has settled, the paint's dry, the floors were clean, the house is finally ready, but we still had an empty house. And the next challenge was going to be turning this old farmstead, the old house here, into a home. In the next episode, we're going to be moving in, and stay tuned to see what else we can get ourselves into.